Welcome back. Another weekend, another Porsche, and I'm standing here with Jeff, who owns this beautiful 997 Carrera S. And I met Jeff at a racetrack a couple of months ago, and we've stayed in touch ever since. Mainly because I fell in love with this car, and as you know, I'm sort of looking for a replacement or maybe a partner for my M3. And I figured I might as well give this car a try. But before I drive it, before I do anything, I wanted Jeff to tell me what's been done to the car, because it's not a stock Carrera S. So can you just give us a quick overview, Jeff?
Sure. Suspension is stock shocks with the PASM, which is the adjustable suspension from Porsche. And I did the iBox springs recently, so it's like an inch lower all around. The sway bars are stock. Everything else is stock suspension-wise. Wheels are these BBS E88s, three-piece wheels with Michelin Pilot P4S.
And 235 in the front and then 305 in the back.
Correct, yeah. I guess from the front of the car, changed the bumper to the OEM Aero Kit bumper, which is really similar to the GT3 bumper. It's the same thing, just doesn't have the vent up here. And then I also did the third radiator to add on. A really cheap OEM performance upgrade for cooling for the track. And then to the back, the Getty Designs ducktail. And that's about a bit appearance side.
Well, I see a reverse camera.
Yeah, backup camera.
And the tips don't look stock, right?
Right, these tips are on aftermarket exhaust, the headers and the crosspipe. These seats are the GT2 OEM seats.
Okay.
So the biggest difference between GT2 and GT3 seats is fold.
Oh, interesting.
So I could still do the back seats, do the baby seat, and then this is all carbon fiber.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest difference. I really wanted the folding seat.
And what about the infotainment system?
So that's just a Kenwood doubled in. So I have CarPlay, and that's a Redline phone mount on the side.
So that's pretty much it, right?
Yep, simple.
Is this your first car you've taken to the track, or you've tracked something else?
Tracked the M3s, E36, E46s.
That's interesting. So how does this compare to an E46, for example?
Definitely a learning curve. I think the M3s are easier to drive, just maybe because I've been used to it.
Okay.
But this has the engine in the back, as you know.
Yeah.
So you got to make sure you brake straight,
Yeah.
as straight as you can. Do all the braking as much as you can straight, and be really deliberate with the turns, because it could get a little pendulum-like.
Oh, gotcha.
Not as bad as the older ones.
Yeah.
But
the Widowmakers.
yeah. But as they got newer, the newer generation, they started actually moving the engine closer and closer.
Right. And then the Cayman came out. Yeah. All right. Cool. Nice. I'm excited to drive it and see what it's all about. This is going to be super fun. So I can take the mask off now. The car has 52,000 miles. So it's not that much for 2006. It's got the Sport Chrono package, and it's pretty bare bones on the inside, but this is really not much really that you need here. The steering wheel has no buttons other than the horn. The center console feels straight up. It's not angled towards the driver. I really like this sort of straight dash. So yeah, the clutch is fairly heavy, but it bites right towards the bottom. So that means it's in good shape. He did say that he had the clutch replaced before he bought the car, and the IMS was addressed. All right. So this car, 385 horsepower stock, but because it's such a lightweight, the power to weight ratio is a lot better on this one compared to my car. Wow. First and foremost, as you can tell from my massive grin, this car puts a smile on your face right away. Just like the GT4, it feels mechanical. The brakes feel a bit weaker compared to the GT4, but maybe it's the pads that he's using. They need to be warmed up. There we go. It's the track pads. But interesting. Oh, what's up with these mosquitoes? There's a bit of a lean, more lean compared to the GT4 that I drove. But again, we're comparing sort of a pedestrian 997 Porsche to a track-oriented GT4. I really don't mind it though. So far so good. It's so funny hearing the engine in the back. All right. So we have our suspension in sport and throttle in sport as well. Please do not stall the car. Oh, there's a tunnel coming up. Check this out. Woo-hoo! I'm giving you my real-time impressions because I have never driven 997.1, believe it or not. And there are a couple of things that I'm noticing right away. First and foremost, the exhaust note is amazing, but only since the owner upgraded the exhaust. So it's got an aftermarket headers, it's got an aftermarket muffler, and so it really wakes the car up. The shifter feels fantastic, it just clicks into place, only because this is a shifter that's been upgraded from a GT3 of that generation. Turning the car does lean, which kind of surprises me, but I think if you upgrade the sway bars to, let's say, GT3 or I guess GT3 sway bars, that can remedy the situation. The car is lowered on I-back springs, so I think it should be riding a little stiffer. I mean, the ride is very, very comfortable, but I think one of the things I would address on it is the lean. Now, speaking of the engine and the power and whatnot, there is significantly, at least maybe it seems to me, more ability to play in the low RPM range compared to the GT4 that I drove, which is very, very strange. But right off the bat, I could tell you that this car is feels pretty powerful for daily driving. But once you get over, once you get over 5,000 RPM, it's on another level. Now, it's not on the same level as my M3, obviously, because there's not nearly enough torque compared to my car, but it's a very linear power delivery. So, and I was talking to Jeff about it, and he put it in the right perspective. He said that with this power and the power delivery, the linear power delivery, you can really put the power down. Whereas with my car, where the torque starts so early, you just spin the tires and you stay in place and you don't really put the power down. But holy moly, really, really fun. Size-wise, I've got to say, it feels pretty spacious, at least for the driver and the passenger. These cars do look a lot smaller in pictures than they really are. Once you get in, you realize there's plenty of real estate. The visibility is fantastic, both my mirrors as well as my window. The ducktail blocks just a bit of the view, but wow, these are some beautiful roads he's taking me on, and it's just so much fun. This car has to be a blast at the track. I seriously can see myself driving something like this at the track. Wow. I would just have to address a bit of a wobbly suspension feel, but other than that, it would be awesome. We've got to be careful here. There are some leaves on the ground. And with the tires being 235 in the front, I feel like grip is limited compared to my 275s. Wow. This car just goes. And again, I said it earlier, it is not the fastest car, but you definitely feel the speed, and it really puts a smile on your face. Look, that was heel and toe. Super easy, and this is coming from a guy who doesn't practice heel and towing on a daily basis. I can't stop grinning. I can't stop grinning. This is so much fun. What a playful car. And we're driving through these amazing roads. And I can see myself driving a car like this to and from the office on a daily basis. And when I need to run family errands, I will have my wife's SUV, and I will probably have my M3 for those days when I have to pick up both kids from daycare. Because yes, you do have 2 seats in the back here, but I didn't know that the 997 didn't have seat latches. There are specific baby seats that fit in these cars, and you seat belt them in. But if you want to use the seat anchors, you have to go up to 991. So for those days when I will do daycare pickups, the M3 would be an alternate solution. Now, I'm sort of giving away my plan of what I want to do. So as I was saying, I'm giving away my plan of what I want to do is I probably want to keep the M3 and get a 997 for daily driving. Not for daily driving, or for daily driving and fun and track duty. So I am going to be on the lookout. Before I even conclude this video, I can tell you that this is the car for me. I will have the more sort of technologically advanced M3 to have fun with, the torque monster, and I will have this analog feeling Porsche for fun and track duty. Wow. This is probably the most fun car I've ever driven. Not to discount my car. My car is obviously a lot of fun, but it's a lot of fun in a luxurious fashion. This just feels very, very analog, and I really like that about this car. Wow. There are no burbles. There's no nonsense. It's just this, I hate to say it because I know in the previous video I used this term a lot, but there's just this sense of this mechanical feel to this car. And it cannot be described until you drive it. I've watched countless number of videos, and yet people praise how great this car is, but until you really drive it, you can't relate. This is just so much fun. And you don't need any electronics, you don't need buttons on the steering wheel, you don't need a heads-up display, because the window is so short that you're fine just looking at the gauges, with the rev counter being right in the middle. Although with my seating position, the top of it is blocked by the steering wheel. But you can just listen to the engine and hear how it responds. Oh, really, really lovely car. You just want to shift. You just want to drive it and shift it. And not once during this drive did I think that it was underpowered. It actually makes me think that my car has too much power for daily driving. This just seems like just the right amount of power for you to have fun with. For daily driving, that is. I'm really impressed. I'm very, very impressed with how this car handles. And let me know what you think about this car. Do you think this is a good and sensible solution for me to keep the M3 and have a 997.1 or 0.2 for weekend and track duty? So let me know what you think down in the comments below. And as always, thank you very much for watching. And I will see you in the next video while I continue to have a bit more fun, because we're not done driving, but I really want to enjoy this moment, so I'll stop yapping and enjoy the drive. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye. When you're cruising down the main street, you can just roll the window down, put your elbow up, and enjoy this beautiful car. But by the way, this car, I love it. I've decided I'm getting a 997.
I think it's more raw than the new Porsches.
Yeah.
The GT4 is still kind of a new Porsche.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this is so good.
Different, like a 991. 991 feels good, but it feels new.
Yeah.
It still feels kind of old.
Yeah. No, it does. And I was saying on camera, I would have to open up the exhaust. I would have to get a GT3 shifter, and other than that, it's nice. The only thing is, it doesn't feel as it rolls a bit more than the GT4, obviously, because GT4 has a lot stiffer. So maybe, have you considered upgrading the sway bars?
Yeah.
Okay, because I feel like that would make it like really
Mess
planted.
around with the suspension at all, or no?
No, I just kept it in sport.
It was a big difference with, like, usually in sport it's really bumpy,
Yeah,
jittery.
I liked it.
Track.
Yeah, no, I liked it. I mean, what do you think of mine?
This definitely has like more compliance.
Yeah.
Of course. Feels like more cushy.
Yeah, exactly, and you feel more isolated.
Yeah.
But I also think that mine now has too much power for daily driving. You don't need that much power, and it's hard
fast.
to. Yeah.
I didn't feel like it was out of control. Or
Yeah. But this one, you can just floor it, and it's.
You can like ring out more.
Yes, exactly. All right, so I'm gonna close this up, and I'm gonna put this. But seriously, thank you for allowing me to do this. It's awesome.